All right, starting off with the main thing, the bike. I went with the Priority 680X, and the reason for that is I was looking for a bike that had the pinion gearbox as well as the belt drive, and from what I was researching, the Priority was like the most cost effective, even though it is pretty expensive. I got the early sale price. I think it was around $250 off the MSRP, and honestly, I don't regret it at all. The bike turned out to be amazing, and I would 100% recommend this bike to anyone looking for those features. The essential things that I needed to change were the tires, the bars, the grips, the seat, and the pedals. I wanted to change the tires because I knew I was going to end up wanting the 2.6-inch bigger tires, and the bars as well. They were just pretty standard. I knew I wanted a set of funky bars to have more mounting options, especially with the 360 camera. The grips that the bike came with were garbage. The right one was already broken when it got to me, which wasn't really an issue because I already knew that I was going to be switching those out. The seat was okay, but it was definitely not for me. As well as the pedals. I used the pedals for the first maybe month of training, and then they started to get kind of stuck and wouldn't rotate, and then started making a bunch of noise, but they were super low-end pedals. I didn't buy the bike for nice pedals, and I knew that I would be replacing those. So onto the tubeless tire setup. The bike didn't come with tubeless already set up, but it was tubeless ready. I bought the muck-off tubeless valves and got the tape that you needed to convert it, and everything worked out perfectly fine. I could definitely recommend these tubeless valves as well if you're looking to switch over to a tubeless setup. Like I talked about earlier, the pinion gearbox with the Gates belt drive was the main reason I bought this bike, and overall it was great. I didn't have any issues with the belt or with anything like that. The only issue that I did run into a little bit was gear, I think it was 8 to 9 or 9 to 10. If I didn't have it perfectly aligned to the number on the shifter, sometimes it would slip down a gear, and that would only happen occasionally. It could be my fault, but it seemed to happen just randomly if I didn't keep tension on the bike or on the crank at all times. It wouldn't happen all the time, it would just happen occasionally, and I don't know, for me, at least at the price point that this thing sells at, I feel like those sorts of issues shouldn't happen. I still would definitely recommend the pinion gearbox with the belt drive, just because it's kind of like a set and forget sort of thing where you can just have everything set up, and honestly it would take quite a big event in order to have a mechanical issue, in my opinion, which I didn't run into at all during the entire trip. And now onto the tires. These are the Vittoria Mescal XC Trail 2.6-inch tires. Tires were great. These are like the most, I guess, highly recommended or highly rated tires. And I looked around for a while and just figured that I would just try these out because they were so highly regarded. Usually I don't buy into hype too much with things, but I figured I would give them a try, and during training and all that kind of stuff, they were just, there were no issues. The tires were great, and I could definitely recommend these. I got the 2.6 inches just because I wanted a bigger tire, a bit more comfortable, but I definitely could have gotten away with 2.4s or maybe even a bit smaller. And that leads us into the Salsa Anything cages. So these are made so you can mount anything, of course, as the name says, but I set these up on the front forks. Kind of did a little custom setup. I just wrapped rubber around the fork, and then I used like pipe clamps or whatever these brackets are called, and these were just absolutely perfect. There was no movement. Could carry 2 pretty heavy water bottles on each side, and I would highly recommend this setup as well. This is something I will not be changing because it just worked perfectly. And with this setup, I had no issues the entire time during the trip. Which leads us into the bars. I set up a Yeti 3-liter Sidekick dry bag. This thing, I think I might have gotten it on sale, but currently right now it's $50. But this keeps everything dry. I had a bunch of batteries and a few different electronics that I would store in here on the front end, and it fits nice and snugly under the bars here. And speaking of the bars, these are the Surly Moloko bars, which I wrapped myself, which was probably the hardest part of the setup with these bars, is getting the wrap to fit nicely and look good. But I really like the bars, would highly recommend these as well. And these are the Revelate Designs mountain feed bags. I got the pair for $140, and I didn't have any problems with these bags. They carried everything I needed to carry. The little outside pockets are good for storing trash or just little things like tools or batteries or anything like that. They can fit and hold bottles, food, like literally anything you want to put in there. And these bags were great, and I'll definitely be leaving these on my setup. And so this is the mag tank bag, which is just, I just held a bunch of snacks and stuff in here. I had to custom mount it using a few different washers from Home Depot. Got a little bit creative, and it was super solid. Would highly recommend this bag. And this is a custom Rogue Panda frame bag. Overall, the bag was great. The only thing I would recommend is, or prefer, is to have a little overhang of some material over the zipper, because we only encountered a little bit of rain. But if it was to be like torrential downpours, or if we were to be out riding in the rain for multiple hours, I'm not sure if this would be a 100% waterproof setup or not. But overall, super happy with the bag, and would definitely highly recommend this as well. Onto the seat. This is an SQ Labs 610. The seat was great. I had no saddle sores, just very comfortable overall seat, and I'm really happy with how this turned out. And I can definitely recommend either this seat specifically or just the SQ Labs seat in general. It was a great saddle, and I would highly recommend it. Now we have an Ortlieb micro bag. This bag was perfect for batteries or just little small things here and there. A little toolkit I think I had in there as well. And yeah, just overall great bag. It has a quick release, so you can just slide it off the entire seat if you need to. These frame bottle holders, these are perfectly mounted. This is more for the bike review, I guess. Having these back here on the bike as mount points was amazing. Onto the other, I would say, main part of the bike is the 40-liter pannier set, which is also by Ortlieb. Can definitely highly recommend these. I had no issues whatsoever. They stayed on the bike, stayed solid even over bumps and harsh terrain and stuff like that. They carried plenty of stuff, plenty of room. Would highly recommend these as well. And what the bags are hanging on is the Axiom Streamliner rear rack. I got this from the Priority website as well. I don't know if it's specific to this bike or not, but it fit perfectly, and I think it carries up to 110 pounds of weight. And for me, that's plenty, and I would hope to never ride my bike that heavy, but the rack was great, no issues here, and would highly recommend this setup as well. So riding with Anthony, I am so glad I had this kickstand. If you don't have a kickstand on your bike, I would highly recommend it. It just makes everything so much easier. And just having a kickstand allows you to just get off your bike and park it wherever you want. You don't have to lean it up against anything, and it was great. Finally, we have the Crank Brothers pedals. I'll probably replace these. They ended up making a bunch of noise, but they were fine for the trip, but I don't think I would recommend these or buy these again. That'll do it for my quick little review of my biking setup. Thank you for watching, and I hope you found this useful, and I'll see you in the next one.
Big man.